Hi everyone, in this video we're going to go over a specific law for triangles called the law of sines. Notice that the title of this video does not include the word right triangle trigonometry, it's just triangle trigonometry because this can be used for any triangle you're given. So here is our law of sines, and what you can notice is that the lowercase letters represent side lengths and the uppercase letters represent the angles. So just take a little note of that. So lowercase, that's going to be your side lengths. And uppercase, that'll be your angle measures. Okay, and notice that each angle and corresponding side length are across the triangle from them. So they're opposite of the angle. So big A is the angle, little a is the side length. Keep in mind when we're using this law of sines, we don't need all three pieces, you just need two pieces. This is just showing you that they all have a common ratio. They're all, proportional to each other. If you have your side over the angle, sine of the angle, side over the sine of the angle, it doesn't matter which two you have, but that's just what you need to solve. So looking at this example, let me zoom out a little bit. So this is an example directly from Delta Math, and you can see it's giving us some information. Again, it's not giving us a diagram, so let's draw one. This does not have to be a right angle, so it could be whatever you want. We have the triangle GHI, so you can always label your angles. It's telling us that side H, that's little side h is across from angle H, is 760. It's telling us that the angle G is 43 degrees. And it's also telling us that H is 26 degrees. So it might not seem like it, but we do have enough information to solve this because they're asking us to find the side length of I. Okay, so when we're getting this set up, the issue now is that if we're trying to find the side length of I, we need to have the sine of I. And our problem is we don't have that value. So we're going to use H as well. So this will be H and then sine of H. Okay, we do it like this because they're giving us both values for H. They gave us the degree and the side length. So always use information that's given. So like I said, our problem right now is we can't find I. We need capital I. So we can maybe take a little note here. Okay, and the note is going to be that all of these angles, when I add them up, should equal 180 degrees. So that'll help me find angle I. So if we have angle G is 43, angle H is 26, and we still don't know angle I. Okay, and then we can just solve for I here. So, you would add 43 and 26, subtract from 180, and you're going to get angle I is going to equal 111 degrees. So we can fill that piece in. We found that on our own using some old basic geometry skills. Okay, so let's fill in what we have. So we know, and I'm going to block this off so we know that's not part of our problem here. So we don't know what little I is, we're trying to find it. And then we're going to have the sine of 111 degrees. We have little h is 760. And then we're going to have sine of 26 degrees. So our goal is to solve for I, treat it like a variable because it is. We're going to cross multiply, so you're going to see I times the sine of 26 degrees equals 760, let me slide that over, times the sine of 111 degrees. Okay, you can use a calculator here, and I absolutely suggest that. There's no way you can do this without a calculator. I do want you to make sure that if you are using a graphing calculator that your mode is in degrees, okay? So that's like a big note over here. Okay, so if using a graphing calculator, make sure the mode is in degrees. And this should make sense when you're looking at, our problem. They're telling us about our angles in measure of degrees. We're going to be learning something called radians next week, so you're going to see that as the other option. It's going to either say, do you want this in radians or degrees? And we want degrees. That's the measure that we have, so go with what you have. So when we're finding the sine of, was that 26? Okay, so we're going to find the sine of 26. And that's going to be a decimal, so let's change back to white. It's going to be 0.4383711,468 I. And that's going to equal, we're going to take the sine of 111. And then you're just going to keep that in your calculator and do times 760. So when I multiply that, I'm going to get 709.5211,241. So we found the sine of 111. You leave it in your calculator, and then you multiply it by 760. It'll also be a decimal. So that's why it's just safe to just leave it there and multiply. Now we're trying to get I by itself, so we do need to divide by this 0.438 long decimal. So you have your 709 decimal still in. Divide by 0.4383711,468. Long decimal there. So we're dividing it, and we get I to equal. So I is going to equal 1618.539475. So we have this value. It does seem pretty large, but if you think back to what h measure was, little h was a measure of 760. So this is fine. This is a good value for us. It makes sense. And we do have in our directions, I believe they asked for it to the inch, to the nearest inch. So we're going to be able to round this up. Okay, so you're going to look at your decimal. It's a 0.53. That would get rounded up. So 1619. You would type that in, and then you would submit your answer.